ADA Cardano has officially made a move that we have been waiting for realistically since September of 2021. Of course, over the last couple of weeks, we have been seeing that Cardano's just overall ecosystem has been growing quite substantially, all right? We see the total value lock sitting right around 440 million thanks to things like MinSwap, SundaySwap, Meld, MuesliSwap, and all these other things contributing to a growing ecosystem. And I think as this ecosystem has been growing, and as we have been finally starting to see some of these platforms come live that we've been expecting for a long time, the excitement around ADA Cardano is slowly but surely starting to surface again. Again, we can see from the bottom on March 14th, we are currently up right around 58, right under 60%, and seemingly still getting a lot of momentum and almost just getting started. So with that said, in today's video, I wanted to talk about my game plan for what we are going to do and what I'm going to do here as an investor in ADA Cardano. Now that we have seen this breakout, in order to protect myself from future potential losses, but also to capitalize on the gains that definitely could be on the horizon, especially as Cardano's ecosystem is growing. So of course, as we did talk about, one thing that we've been looking for is the break of this red trend line here. Now, what we know is that over the last couple months, we have these moments where we finally get some excitement, but we run into this key level of resistance and we are just completely unable to clear it. We are not capable of catching the bullish momentum that we need in order to continue. We run into this resistance and we continue towards the downside. But what we can see happening is that at this point, we almost did it again, right? We came up to this level of resistance. We started to fall, but the bulls started to catch on. They said, no, this is the moment that we've been waiting for. We saw this strong push. We saw the hammer. Boom. Next thing you know, the breakout is here. So now that we are finally seeing this breakout, I want to tell you guys my game plan of exactly how I'm going to be investing in ADA Cardano slowly but surely. Again, like I said earlier, to protect from potential losses, just in case this is ADA Cardano doing what it's been doing the last couple months, or if this is actually the moment that this thing really catches some momentum, okay? So the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that this move was not easy to do, okay? We saw extreme extension from the bulls and extreme pressure from the bulls to beat the bears to get to this point. Now, the way in which we can see it is on a few different time frames. First and foremost, look at our RSI. Our RSI does have a mean case of bearish divergence in which we're setting higher highs on the RSI here, but we have been setting these lower highs. That means every single time that we are making one of these pushes, it's getting harder and harder and harder for the bulls to find that success and maintain that momentum, which is why we do see these strong drives towards the downside. But considering the fact that the market is supporting a move of this nature and the fact that the market does seem to be in a good place to continue, mixed in with the fact that Cardano's overall ecosystem is growing, I definitely think it is much more viable to say that this could be maintained at this point, but it was not easy to get here, and we definitely need to expect to see these things cool down and pull back at some point relatively soon. Considering the fact that we are up 60% and we are, say, overextended into the top side of our Bollinger Bands, we have to be aware that at any given point, this thing will consolidate or pull back a little bit to allow these indicators to reset, because it cannot continue just straight back up to all-time highs with absolutely no interruption unless something absolutely dramatic happens in the market or something absolutely dramatic happens to Cardano's blockchain or platform ecosystem, etc. itself. I mean, it would take something insane. Okay. Now, if we look at something like the 4-hour time frames, even if we do slow it down a little bit more, we can also see here that momentum is slowing, right? As we have been making this move towards the upside, we've consistently been putting in these higher highs on the price. But if we zoom in here on the RSI, let's turn off this moving average for a second here. One thing we can see is that we are failing to put in that higher high at this point. We're at a higher high here. We're making a lower high right now. What that says is that momentum is slowing down and these short-term indicators are starting to reset, which usually entail that the long-term indicators like the daily are likely to reset relatively soon as well. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is that I'm expecting this big move that we've been seeing to slow down for a few reasons. One, ADA Cardano is the type of crypto that needs breaks. Two, we are seeing other cryptos wake up. We're seeing Matic, we're seeing AVAX, we're seeing BNB, Sand. We're seeing all of these other cryptos finally catch some life. And as that happens, the excitement around ADA will diminish a little bit because other cryptos will perform well as well. And it won't be the only one seeing growth of this nature. And so for that reason, I am going to be slowly accumulating at the point in which we break $1.28. So recently, what we can see is that on the last trip to the top side, we ran into a key level of resistance at $1.28. And so now that we've broken the trend line, I'm going to start my 3-step accumulation process now that we again have a breakout. What that 3-step accumulation process looks like is buying on the establishment of a new higher high with the understanding that there's a very strong chance we will consolidate or pull back relatively soon after seeing that breakout. My second step again is going to be purchasing on the consolidation or the support establishment. What that means is that if we see this thing go up here and then we start to consolidate, I'm going to look for the breaking of the consolidation, and that is when I'm going to go ahead and purchase again. But if we see the price pull back towards the downside, my second purchase will happen once a true level of strong support seems to have been established. And then the third thing the third time that I'm going to be buying is once we officially clear the breakout high that we establish once we break the trend. So it'd be here, it would be here, it would be here again. My accumulation would be complete because at that point I am extremely confident that the market is working its way back up to the top side, and I have then entered into a position that I am very comfortable with. So now that ADA does seem as if it is making that breakout, now that we are seeing something like the weekly MACD very, very close to, it's actually gotten the cross. It got the cross today, which is absolutely beautiful. This is huge for ADA Cardano, considering the fact that we did get this bullish cross, considering the fact that we are seeing the bullish divergence on the RSI, which looks like a setting. Let's go ahead and zoom this all the way out so you can see here, because it is pretty far, setting this low right here to the lower, the higher low, and a low to a lower low. Bullish divergence on all time frames above 4 or 5 days. The weeklies look great. The monthlies look great, considering the fact that the weekly MACD looks great. It says that in the long term, ADA is set and prepared to see some growth, but taking it slow is the best course of action in my opinion, because considering the overextensions we are seeing on the short term, we need to be extremely cautious at this point, because again, at any given point, we could pull back, we could consolidate, and you don't want to get caught up in a couple weeks of consolidation, because knowing ADA Cardano, it can do some really annoying stuff out of nowhere, looking like a drop of 30% out of nowhere for no reason while the rest of the market takes off. So I'm going to be taking it slow again. First purchase coming at the close above $1.28 on a daily time frame, and so do stay tuned for that. Of course, when I do make that purchase, the first ones that will know will be my Patreon members. As you guys do know, I did actually make a purchase over on Solana this morning. I showed you guys that Patreon post in the Solana video from earlier, and I always update them as soon as I make purchases when these bull markets start to take off. And so do stay tuned for that, and do sign up and check it out if you are interested. But if not, I will update you guys on the YouTube channel as soon as I possibly can whenever I do make some trades, buys, sells, etc. So with that said, that is going to be about it from me today. That is what I'm looking for, and that is what I'm expecting from ADA Cardano. If you did enjoy today's video, you can always let me know easily and simply by smashing the like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new, and I will see you all next time. Peace.